Well, you have to be in areas where people can play what they
Yeah.
want to play.
Hmm.
Uh, People that like the kind of music that you're presenting to them. You know, people that are not just totally going whichever way it is commercial. But then if it's just about money, then they'll do exactly what it is that the industry is requesting. But, you know, and this is a business. Music is business is a business like food or anything like that. You go to a big supermarket and they put everything on them racks that they want you to have. And you might not see the thing that you want in there. You say, hey, do y'all carry this? And they say, no, we don't carry that.
Hmm.
You say, well, how could you not carry this? And they say, this is what we selling. So you might buy a substitute.
Hmm.
You say, I buy this. I got to take something back. But you say, where do you go get the special things you want? You have to go to a small store, you know.
Uh-huh.
And you say, I have to go all the way over there to get this because this guy don't carry it. And he don't want to carry it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So the music business is the same way. It's people monopolize the markets, and then they distribute what they want to distribute. Now it might be a good soul record out there doing good, but if they say, hey, they ain't what we kicking right now, then they ain't gonna get that record no distribution deal. You know. Else that little guy probably wouldn't be out there with his label, if they gave him a deal in the first place. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people start labels because the people won't give them a shot. You know. I mean, I can think of, for instance, when Marvin Gaye was between labels, and 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 Motown was pretty out with him because he was out with them because he was millions of dollars in the whole taxes. So he couldn't go to Motown, and nobody else out there would sign him because they felt like, oh, Marvin was in trouble with Motown, and if they ain't gonna do nothing with him, we ain't gonna do nothing with him. So it was one guy that was with Columbia said, "I'll take a chance on it," and he took a chance on it, and uh, and and took got Marvin in the studio, cut the album. Uh, he got sued. Columbia got sued and everything. But they say we're not gonna make a lot of money on first record because most times gonna take it all, but at least I think we get a big hit on this cat is do a record.
That was sexual
And
healing.
he hadn't had a record in so long that when you did hear him on the radio, you know, we had to turn it up ourselves. I said, that's Marvin Gaye. I said, yeah, man, he sound good, don't he? We hadn't heard him in a long time. And we know him, like well. We had to turn it up and say, man, every time you come on, you turn it up. Because you say, out of all the other jive that was out, when you hear his voice, and you say, man, wow, that sounds good, you know. And it still sounds good today. Because they got a lot of cats out now, putting out music now, but they ain't writing from their heart like that, you know, and that makes a difference.
From your own sort of perspective here and now, who do you like that's performing at the moment that's new or recent to the music scene? Is there anyone that you find quite interesting, inspirational, or
Well, I think I think probably the most group that I think that were really serious about what they were doing, like we like TLC. And then I think after TLC there was a Beyonce and the Destiny's Child. But those girls are very serious about putting forth their best, and working at it. And they worked a long time to get where they are. So you can give them credit, for coming on with something different and really working at it a long time, And from one musician to the next, you always have to admire when people willing to work hard. Even if they sound different. Like when they came out, they didn't sound like anybody else, but I knew they would get over it because she had that drive, and they was gonna stick it out, and it narrowed down to like basically like two of them, but they were still going.
Yeah, they had twice. Yeah, they had trouble with that. I
Yeah,
think too.
yeah,
A
it was
couple of
just
times.
ended up with those two
No,
originals,
but
and
they
they
kept
kept
on
going.
with it. Yeah.
They did a show with us
Ian Wright show.
in London, and they were still coming. People didn't know who they were that much, you know. And they said they didn't do some, and they sung one of these songs, you know. And I said, hey, they coming over here to work. They working on their stuff, you know.
But it's good when people
Yeah.
want to work
I like
hard.
that. They didn't say, oh, we know. Let me see. We were on the show. Keith Richards. A lot of people that was big over this way.
Cliff.
Yeah,
Cliff.
yeah, Cliff Richards. So
There's a difference, isn't there?
yeah, yeah. What did I say? Keith Richards.
Well, you know, we know
That's
Keith
it.
too.
Okay,
He's
yeah,
on a
yeah,
lot of the
yeah,
shows.
yeah. So, but they got in there and did their thing, and was proud to be there. And I said that group's they're gonna bust, you know. Yeah. So that you know, I think when you look at people that you have to admire today, you have to know that they are hard working. Yeah, yeah. Like Mary J. Blige, she works hard on her music, you know.
She does.
So you can tell, you know. You can say, hey, that girl, man, she's serious, man. She goes, you know, in the corner and right, you know, and come out and say what she got to say, you know. And she be hitting it, you know. Yeah. So that's what you can admire that in people, you know.
Okay, I just want to wrap up quickly and I'll have a quick word with Paul, but it's been a joy talking to you.
Yeah.
And an education, obviously, but I just wanted to, because you mentioned that you were in Thailand until quite recently. What were the circumstances of you being in Thailand and when did you leave?
Well, she knows the story.
Oh yeah, we love Thailand. For years, we spent large parts of the year in Thailand, and we said, well, when the time is right, we're going to purchase a home here. So for the last 6 years, we were living in Thailand. We had built a studio, and we were in the process of enlarging and building a resort on the beautiful Andaman Sea coast in a area a little north of Phuket in southern Thailand called Khao Lak. Gorgeous area bordered by the forest and the sea. And it was just a nature lover's paradise. And then it became a real resort area where you had the Meridians and the Sofitels building in, Novotels, and many, many different resorts. So in the 5 years that we spent building, it just exploded. And there were so many resorts there. Well, the day after the holidays in 2004, I think they were having what amounts to Boxing Day here. And the king and his family were at a resort just down the street from our home and resort and offices. And Zach, it was so much traffic and it was just too congested. And Zach said, well, we were leaving anyway. We're going to leave now. We caught the last flight out of Phuket the day before the tsunami hit. And it wiped out our entire neighborhood, all of our neighbors, all of our friends, our estate, which was surrounded by 7-foot walls on 7 acres, is nothing but sand there. And our workers were found a mile away up on the road with their families all separated in, their body parts. And we were just so thankful that we had left because we lived right in the eye of the biggest wave that hit that area, 30-foot high wave.
So literally 24 hours before the tsunami, you just left.
We went to Bangkok. Our kids fortunately weren't there. We had just come back from the UK, and they wanted to stay in Bangkok and visit their friends. And we kept a condo there. So Zach said, okay, we're going to leave. We're not going to stay over because we always went to the beach in the morning. And if we weren't at the beach, we would have been relaxing at home. And you could not get away. It was impossible the way it hit. So we're thankful.
Someone was looking after you?
Yeah.
Very seriously, yeah.
I mean, that is just so... I mean, no warning, no nothing, it just happened, but
It just
24
happened.
hours you happen to be out of the country.
Yeah. Impulse. That's one impulse.
I guess you should trust them from... I mean, that's a lesson really, isn't it? If
Yeah.
something like that is happening,
Yeah.
listen to your impulses, you never know.
Definitely.
Well, obviously we're thankful.
Yeah, we're very thankful, and we have something to do here. We have a song called Be Thankful, which will be out in the end of the year. We're releasing parts
That's right.
as we speak, and we definitely want to always remember what we are doing here and be thankful.
I'm sure we'll be listening to it.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks.
We'll get you. You make sure we got all your contacts. So we
Yeah,
can
no, I'd love to.
send you everything.